Okay. This meeting is adjourned. We'll see you.
Hold it.
I'm sorry.
One more item.
What did I miss?
15-145. Come on.
Oh, gosh, I'm sorry. I guess I was in such a hurry to get the heck out of here.
And
okay.
I'll go ahead and read this into the record by title only in the
Please.
event that council decides to adopt it. It's a resolution of the City Council of the City of Marco Island, Florida, establishing requirements for resolution requests supporting citizen initiatives.
Okay. Gentlemen, any comments? Ken, I think you were the one who proffered this in the first place. Go ahead.
No, this is just so that we don't end up, we were being inundated with resolutions from the citizens would come up here, and this way here there's some sort of process for it to occur. It's the same criteria used to run for office, the threshold. I just think it makes it a little neater so that, if someone wants a resolution for whatever, it requires a little bit of support from the community before it gets to us.
So,
I make a motion to approve.
I second that.
okay. Councilor Honig.
Yeah, I guess I didn't really understand the purpose of this. I mean, a couple of things happened. We had resolutions pushed by citizens on us that reached, I thought, very quickly and successfully the resolution stage presented to us. There was the pushback against the Common Core that came to council, form of resolution twice. The citizen, actually a one-man band, came up here and pushed the idea of the sex offender radius living requirements. That elapsed ETA. The time on that was about 6 weeks from his first comment to a passed resolution. I thought the process worked pretty well. Citizens with courage get up, make a comment. If it has traction on city council is the key. And I like the idea of having citizens have access to us, come up, make a statement, see if it has traction. Or did you envision this as in addition to that process, where if you didn't think you had traction, you can force it? Is that what you envisioned?
Ken, you want to answer,
Yes.
please?
Someone stands up and I'm for marriage between I want a resolution sent to
Don't go there.
the state for marriage of space aliens to zombies or something, and they come here with this resolution, then we end up discussing it when there might be only one person in the audience this has any merit to. At least if there's a couple, it's a very low threshold. They can say, hey, I like a resolution sent to whatever, and here's what, I've got some support in the island.
But would persons who didn't have that petition background be denied the ability to speak to city council and propose a resolution?
They can, but I don't think we would have to feel we felt obligated, almost like we're ambushed here, like, oh, you're against Apple Pie America and babies here. You got to vote for this. And I think that having some sort of a threshold, and it's a very minimal threshold, is there big support for gun rights? Is there big support for common? You really don't know until.
Do you think this would have changed the course
I think
of that?
it would have.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
It would have made my decision a lot easier. Especially the Common Core one is very difficult to figure out where the support was.
Ken, you done?
Yes.
Councilor Rios?
I have no problem with having a 1% threshold as long as the council can also consider a single citizen bring a point like the sex offender issue, and we decide to consider it. I want to make sure that it doesn't become a requirement of having a 1% or 2%, whatever number you want to pick. Right now it's 10%. But, okay, if what we're saying is a citizen might bring a very valid point that somehow we as elected officials have not wisely, decided to bring as an ordinance or a motion or a resolution, and a citizen come out with something that would benefit the community, or that we should take a stand, I don't think it would you force them to go out and collect 140 signatures, or 130, whatever the latest number is. I don't have a problem, but it should be either way. If a citizen brings a point and we want to consider it, we should be able to without forcing that citizen to go ahead. Well, we like the idea, but you go now and collect signatures. I wouldn't support that.
Ken, would you consider amending your motion to allow council to make that determination as suggested by Councilor Rios?
I think there's a little bit of confusion here. The sex offender issue was not a resolution that we sent to the governor saying we want to protect sex offenders. I'm trying to put a little more control into, we got elected, and 1 week in we were asked to sign a resolution to the governor about gun rights. And we were asked about Common Core, and tomorrow it could be who knows what else. And the citizen initiatives for asking us to send letters to the governor, legislature of Florida, those are the types of things I want to be as part of this threshold to come forward.
Amadeo?
I agree in part with that, when you get an initiative like this that has to go to the governor or whatever, 1% is 120 or 130 petitions that have to be signed. You know more that there are people that are involved in that. Obviously, I was a proponent of the Common Core issue because I follow that. I stay on top of that. It was an important issue to me as well as other residents that don't want to step to the plate. But
okay,
I can go along with this.
Mr. City Manager.
Yeah, just so you know, we understand it. I want to be clear that this is clearly that some citizen who has an initiative for a resolution for support or being against something to be sent comes up to podium during citizen comments and wants to move something forward. But of course, in my mind, this doesn't preclude any counselor who listens to that particular item to be able to, through your own council process, to move something forward if you feel that that initiative was a good idea and had merit. So this would be for the citizen to do it on its own without a counselor basically adopting it and being the sponsor of it. Is that a correct assumption?
Yes. Okay, I have a comment and a question. Ken, you brought up about the gun. If you recall, after that Second Amendment resolution came forward, someone in the audience demanded that since we entertained that motion, that he wanted to proffer a motion, which he was permitted to do the very next week, and so our very next session. So I'm 100% in agreement with you. But the question that I have in Section 2, and I guess this would be for the city attorney, requests for resolutions supporting citizen initiatives require 1% of the qualified electors. So there's no ambiguity here. I just want to make absolutely certain. Qualified elector is somebody who is registered to vote in the state of Florida and is a resident of Marco Island, correct?
Yes, registered to vote for Marco Island, Collier County.
Okay. All righty. No other comments? Any citizen comments? No public? Yes, Jared. Sorry for the informality, but...
That's all right. Jared Griffoni, 141 Leland Way. This is just absolutely ridiculous, folks. I looked at this resolution, or this proposal, went back and looked at all of the resolutions that this council has looked at going back to November of 2012. It includes non-controversial consent items, non-citizen requests, and citizen requests. You're looking at a total of about 110 resolutions. Of course, citizen requests would be much smaller than that. You could think of 2 or 3. 874 days, 2 years, 4 months, and 23 days, 123 weeks. That's about 62 regular city council meetings. That ends up being less than 2 resolutions in total, mind you, not just citizen requests that this board has to entertain every meeting. 1.77 or 1.7 resolutions per meeting. So let's be honest, this isn't about resolutions, it's not about the time over the last 2 years, it's not about citizen issues. This is specifically in response to Common Core and gun rights, Second Amendment rights, both of which passed in a little bit of different substance than what was originally proposed. The Florida League of Cities has ordinances defined completely different than resolutions. Ordinances right now under the charter, you have to have, I think, 10% of the registered voters sign a petition in order to get a citizen ordinance. Resolutions are far less substantial, according to the Florida League of Cities. They're not enforceable as a local law like an ordinance would. So you're trying to equate the two by making the process for citizen petitions that much harder, making it almost a permanent force of law to have something far less substantial than the original intent. It's not about 10% or about 1%, though it's irrelevant. This is a restriction on the citizen rights, grassroots issues from being heard by this board. It's putting a larger burden on the people who elected you, put you in office to do this job. I mean, this is your job that we're talking about here, hearing citizen concerns and voting yay or nay, up or down. This is a greater burden for getting a resolution in front of you than the Board of County Commissioners. You know, talking about hundreds of thousands of residents, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of residents in the BCC. They don't have this issue, but all of a sudden the Marco Island City Council has this issue. So we're talking about 1% qualified electors, the same number to get on this board or to get certified to run for election. We were talking about the cost. Who's going to pay to certify these 1% of these signatures? And now you're charging citizens to come up and get a resolution in front of you? That's unbelievable. So in order for a resolution to get on the agenda, yeah, the city council, councilor can propose it, the councilor can second it, get it on. I mean, that's the minimal requirement. The minimal requirement shouldn't be telling your own citizens that they have to write a check in order to have an issue in front of you. That's totally irresponsible and, frankly, offensive. And now, if you want to apply this standard, this 1% standard, why don't you put it on the resolutions for yourself? Any resolutions that originate from the city council or from the city government, you have to get 1% of the city residents' signatures before you hear it. I don't think that's going to happen because that's a restriction on your power, not on the power of the citizens that put you in office. So I ask a request that you vote against this politically motivated resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Jared. Mr. City Manager?
I just wanted to mention that with regard to the numbers of resolutions that was alluded to, when I came here as your city manager, I noted that a lot of actions were taken by the city council by way of motion. Example of that is contract awards, etc. And since I've come here, I've put those into resolutions, and the reason I've done that is so that the public can look who voted for a particular item by looking at the resolutions that are online and seeing the results of those votes, if they're interested in the results of a particular item, and not have to wade through the minutes of council meeting to try to find out who made a motion and what the results were. So while those numbers are probably accurate, they're probably low because you hadn't been taking action by resolution on many matters that, in my opinion, and I believe the city attorney would back me up, should be done by resolution.
Thank you. Okay. No other comments? Sandy, you want to call the question, please?
Councilor Honaker?
Yes.
Councilor Patrica?
Yes.
Vice Chair Brown?
Yes.
Councilor Beatty?
Yes.
Councilor Rios?
No.
Councilor Honig?
No.
Chairman Satcher?
Yes. Okay. Motion passed 5-2. Now, citizen comments. Any citizen?